The coordinator got up on a chair and was like, hey, everyone, I know it's raining outside, but can you do just this one little thing for her? She just really wants the ceremony outside. Hi guys, so my name is Gajvik. Welcome back to my channel. I'm going to go ahead and get started into my March events. My first event was the wedding for the soon-to-be Mr. and Mrs. Sai. Now this wedding was at Wedgewood. I was in charge of the ceremony, dinner, and obviously all of the reception. Something different that they did do was they did the grand entrance, went into father-daughter dance, and then they did their first dance, obviously the newlyweds. So that's something different that they did. I don't know, I just feel like honestly the first dance should be the first dance for both, the newlyweds, but the bride decided to do something different. She wanted to dance with her father first before being presented to now the husband, which is Mr. Sai's first dance. So again, that was something a little bit different that they did. But again, I'm here to please, the newlyweds. Now for this, they did request a lot of 2000s to 2010s hip hop, a lot of pop for sure. I really didn't play any of the newer hip hops like the 2020s, but I did play a lot of the 2010s and 2000s hip hop, and that's what they really like. So I kind of stuck with that. So after this wedding, I kind of packed up and then I headed over to Qarma, which is, again, the nightclub portion of Queen's the lounge, and then on the back, it is Qarma. So I was there for their Friday Latin nights. So I threw my Eclipse set, which for those of you who follow me, my Eclipse set means it's all Latin. So I did throw my Eclipse set that night. There was a drag show at 1:30 a.m. So doors open at 11:30. I played from 11:30 to about 1:20. And then I kind of got signs from the drag queen. We did the show at 1:30, almost ended at 2. And then from there, I played from 2 a.m. till 3 a.m. So the next event was my residency at the Garden for those Taste Thursdays. For those of you who don't know, it is a burlesque show that they have every other week at the Garden. I was feeling a little bit under that weather the night before. I kind of had a fever and a headache, so I did take some NyQuil the night previously. And in that morning, I felt a little bit better, but either way, a gig's a gig, and I have to be there regardless of, how I feel. So I did mask up. I think I took some Dayquil and just headed over to the club to, again, just continue that Taste Thursdays. Again, it is a burlesque show, so we did have a couple of different performers as well as pole dancing. And of course, there were other performers there as well that night. So the next day was the Zavala's wedding back at Wedgewood. They did have me MC both Spanish and English. For sure that night, my mouth was dry and was drinking a lot of water just because I had to speak pretty much twice or for 2 people that whole night. Since the family was mostly Hispanic or Spanish, I wanted to say they're Mexican because I did play a lot of bandas, a lot of quebraditas, as well as some cumbias. So a lot of Latin stuff. I did throw some hip hop and pop here and there in spurts to kind of also play for the other sides of the family too. So it was sporadic here and there, but most, I want to say 80% of the people there were Hispanic. So I kind of DJ'd more towards that side of the family. And like I said, I would throw some, hip hop or pop bangers here and there to kind of get the other side of the family into the dancing as well. So on St. Patrick's Day, the 14th, I did have a back-to-back event at the Garden. As you guys know, it's my residency on Thursdays. Every other week is a burlesque show. So the other weeks, it is Taste Siren. So it's just a drag show. I did start at 7 p.m., kind of, made it kind of loungy feel. And then they had the drag performance at about 8:30. Around 9:30, we closed off the club. I kind of played some down-tempo stuff to kind of have the people kind of wheedle out and leave just because I had to stay there for another event afterwards. It was a private event. So this couple have been married, I think 5 years. So they decided to celebrate at the Garden. So they did have also drag performers because that's what they requested from that night. It was a little bit of a longer night as well, just because they decided to stay another hour. So they paid for another hour. And I stayed, I want to say until 1:30 a.m. After the drag performers ended, they kind of came up to me and they're like, hey, we love the vibe, but we want you to play ratchet. Just go straight up ratchet. the couple loves it. So, you know, I played that ratchet until that 1:30 or 2 a.m. that I was there. All right, so that Saturday, I did fill in for my buddy Lexto at Queen, which again is the front portion of Qarma. There was a drag performance at 11:30, and then the second one was at 1 a.m. I did play in between there, and again, it's more loungy, so I kind of kept it pop and house. I kind of would poke it out of that chill vibe every now and then just to get people alive, or just, you know, more dancing, but then I would bring it back down, just kind of like waves, not really big like BPM changes, more into like the 128s back to 100s back to 128. So I just kept it kind of there that night. It was underwear night, so we did see a lot of peeps in their underwear, and I think they drink free if they're in their underwear. So we did have a lot of peeps like that. I didn't participate in that. I kept my pants on, so but yeah, it was a fun night. I did take our new Denon SV2. I wanted to take it out. It's kind of our new controller as a company, and I wanted to take it out, see how it's working. I know it's not new, but it's new to us. So yeah, I did take it out. I want to test the waters and see what Denon has going on for them. So I do have an overview coming soon to that. So don't forget to subscribe so that way you guys are kind of in the know and see if you guys like the format that I do on overviews for equipment. All right, so the following Thursday, I did continue my residency at the Garden again for that Taste Thursdays. So that was the burlesque show on that Thursday. One of the things I did forget to mention on the Taste Thursdays is that obviously I'm in charge of the music, but I also do radio in the back of house for the next talent to be ready for when it's almost their time. So I do have a list of like performers, and then I radio them like, hey, so-and-so, you're almost up. That way it's kind of more fluid of a transition between talent. There is kind of like a lighting engineer. So he's in charge of the tree lights you guys see behind that Garden sign. And then there's the moving heads up top. So he does control those. So he kind of does see my waveforms, kind of sees, and obviously knows some of the songs, so kind of knows when to change it from strobe to a little more suave lighting. Now the week after, my residency continued on Thursday for that Taste Sirens. For this instance, it is a smaller production. I'm in charge of both the lighting, communicating with the talent, and the music. So with that, as you can see, again, I'm in charge of the lighting behind the Garden that connects all the way to the ceiling, as well as the moving heads. So for that, I kind of keep one or the other static so I can play with the other while still keeping an eye for the music and radioing the talent. It's a one-man show for sure on those Taste Sirens. I mean, it's not too crazy. Again, I leave either the moving heads static and then I play with the LEDs on the ceiling and the back, or if not, vice versa, I leave the ceiling and the back static and then I play with the moving head. So it just depends on the song and, you know, what I feel that day. So we'll continue with the Potter's wedding. Now this wedding, the rain did kind of intrude into our ceremony, but it did not stop the ceremony, if that makes sense. I got there early that day. I did have a rehearsal for the following day's wedding. So I met up with that couple and it was kind of drizzling a little bit, not too bad. We had the weather app pulled up, myself and the coordinator, and it said it was going to kind of stop around 4 p.m., 4:30 p.m., which was the ceremony start time for the Potter's wedding. So she was very positive that it was going to stop. Myself as a DJ, I still count as if it's going to rain, so I'm better prepared. The ceremony there is on the patio, which is outside. There's literally no covering. In case it does rain, they do have a room on the right-hand side where it's inside. So in case it rains like that, we can do it in there. However, the coordinator touched base with the bride and she still wanted the wedding outside. And then at 4:30, the coordinator asked me, hey, can you get everyone to head outside for the ceremony? Since I'm in charge of that, I invite everyone over to take a seat to the ceremony. And as I did, everyone kind of got walked up to where the door is before they walk outside. So they didn't want to go outside and get wet. The good thing is that the coordinator saw this, so she went back upstairs where the bridal suite is and she spoke with the bride, let her know the situation, what was going on. Like, hey, all your guests don't want to go outside. It looks like they don't want to get wet. Do you still want the ceremony outside, or we can move it inside? Keep in mind, none of my equipment was outside. Mine was still inside. So if she did want the ceremony outside, I still had to like ask for 5 minutes to go, like connect everything really quick. If not, again, she would have to give me 2 minutes to connect it inside. So my equipment was in limbo. I didn't know what to do. I was in limbo. The photographers were in limbo because we didn't know what to do, what to expect. Coordinator came down, let us know she still wants it outside. Regardless of what's going on, she still wants it outside in the patio. She realized that sitting. So the good thing is that the coordinator got up on a chair and was like, hey, everyone, I know it's raining outside, but can you do just this one little thing for her? She just really wants the ceremony outside. Please, everyone, exit to the patio so we can get the ceremony started like ASAP, and now we can bring you guys back in. So I'm alongside a wall with all the equipment. The good thing is that the rain doesn't hit as much, but the rain was still hitting. So I tried to get as close as to the wall as I could, and things were still getting wet. Even the microphone, when the pastor was talking, was cutting in and out, and I blame the rain because that microphone has never cut in and out like that on that side in that venue. And that was the only time in the 3-4 years that I've been there. But aside from that, cocktail went great, dinner went great, and obviously all of our reception went amazing. They really wanted a lot of EDM, that like 2010s, 2015s, like Zed and like Porter Robinson, so stuff like that. The groom really liked a lot of that melodic dubstep, so like Seven Lions and Illenium. He did warn me though. He's like, hey, there's gonna be one of the groomsmen that loves like headbanging, so even though if he asks you for Zomboid Excision, do not play any of that. Please do not play. So I was like, all right, I got you. Don't worry about it. And Shirley, one of the first things when I opened up the dance floor, he came over, was like, hey, can you play some Zomboid? And I was like, yeah. Groom said no. I played some pop and hip hop as well because that's what they wanted. I did throw some country as well for the parents, and that's what they kind of wanted too. So, but overall, it was an awesome night. Now, for my last wedding of March was the Taylor's wedding. As you know, the day before it had rained. This day, there was no rain. It was partly cloudy, but it was windy. That's one of the things that for sure kind of didn't help us out in our favor. Where it really kind of mattered was during ceremony. I did EQ the microphone's lows out, kind of like a high pass filter. It was so windy you could still hear the wind noise in it. But aside from that, the ceremony went well. I invited them over to cocktail, then did their grand entrance straight into first dance, did some formalities, and then obviously opened up the dance floor. This one also was kind of like 80% Hispanic, so kept it with that Latin, the like cumbias norteñas, guapangos, bandas, and then a few merengues here and there, but it was mostly like kind of Mexican based. So I did play that, and then obviously I played hip hop and pop to kind of get the rest of the family and his side of the family too. That's pretty much it, besides me streaming Mondays on Twitch for that New Music Monday. I didn't do a recap of the music that I downloaded stream on Wednesdays, just because I was a little bit busy that last weekend with, these weddings. And I will see you guys next month. If not, I might be dropping off another video soon. But aside from that, see you guys. Gajvik out.